So let's go ahead and take a look at this Westminster Finals course. Now, relative to what you've been working, this course was, relatively straightforward. It had a couple challenges, but nothing over the top. Definitely one that was doable for you and Andy. Now, on this part, you mentioned about kind of pushing off the line, and I would have to agree that if I didn't know the course, if I had not run it, if I had not looked at the course map, I do agree that I would have expected a rear cross on this jump. So you can see how far lateral you are. All right, so Andy's here, you're way over here, okay? And then from your line of travel, you're running in this direction. So you're running in lateral at a greater rate than he is. So you're kind of getting a line of travel like this. So you can see, kind of the two arrows are getting closer together at the base. So he's seeing this pressure and he's wanting to then push off of it. So I think you kind of needed to run more, kind of here to the middle of the tunnel to keep his line then straight into that left end. So as you can see, you're really, again, pushing into the left. I almost even thought it was a rear cross, and then the tunnel verbal kind of saves you. And I think the need for that tunnel send looks more obvious here because he was confused. I don't think your tunnel send is as bad as what it's showing here. I think it was more the turning back and barking at you because he was unsure of what to do. Now, on this threadle here, the thing that I would work towards is not having to turn your back to the jump quite so much. So try to progress where you can stand more upright and have your shoulders facing this direction. There's nothing wrong with the presentation that you're giving, and actually what you're giving here is very similar to what I showed. Kind of my back turned to the jump, and then when the dog comes around, opening up for the front cross. But I think you can advance it a little bit to kind of be more here. So see how you're already kind of opened up, facing back more towards the camera. I think you could be there more and rely a little bit more heavily on the verbal to bring him around to the correct side of that jump. It's just going to advance things and show a more polished threadle than that kind of really bent over back to the jump rotating that you had, that also I had in my run. Now on this, you mentioned about really wanting to work the backside in order to stay off of his line and prevent the bar. You also talked about kind of you're making your list of skills to work on. This is one then where I would just work on a more independent backside so that you can trust right here that he's going, right? So if we look and we were to draw the bar across here and we kind of draw the middle of it, all right, you're staying on that outside edge. You're staying over here. That's where I want you to be able to stay. But as you see, you step in to the right, and then that's what then makes it difficult to get off the line to get down there for that jump. So that would certainly be something that you could work on improving, is just getting a bit more independent on the backside, which will in turn help your serpentines and then for you to stay off the line. So as you reran this, the biggest change I saw was a better line off of the A-frame. So this part all looking really good. No trouble with the discrimination. I do think that your discrimination is set up a little bit easier. I recall specifically, when the dogs turned and came off this jump here, it was very easy for the dogs to want to take the A-frame. Given where your A-frame is angled so far over here, I can't imagine in any scenario that he would turn and want to kick out to the A-frame. It'd almost be impossible to do. So the discrimination is a little bit easier. But on this, you got a much better line here. You can see there's no sassing you. There's no head checking. Instead of jumping over on this portion of the bar and jumping on the left lead, you can see he's jumping on the right-hand portion. He's driving straight. So I think a combination of that was a better line. It was, that you were a little bit patterned. He knew where to go in earlier verbal. I mean, all of those things helping to get that better line to the tunnel. And then the rest of this, as I said, all looking very nice. You did seem to trust the backside off the A-frame a little more on this one, so you didn't get as deep. So you're still getting across there. If we look and pause, you're barely getting across that line. So I still want you to work more on that backside. I think your backside is and can be more independent than what you're taking advantage of there. So work to get to the point where you don't have to, you can kind of aim to the middle of the bar. And remember that separation between mental and physical commitment. So try to trust your backsides on that mental commitment, not wait for the physical commitment of him breaking the plane. Good work on this.